Hello? Hello, everyone. Okay, so what we're gonna do today is just discuss uh, 5 strategies on how to fix your game. Well, what I wanted to do long term, just trying to do lessons where I'm gonna represent some of the biggest problem which my students are facing during the sessions. So it's been, I think almost every session recently, people been asking about how can I fix my aim, can I do to improve my mechanics. Just some specific advice. Sometimes we have to look into the gameplay and just see, oh, maybe they have to fix how they move, maybe they have to fix their even mentality sometimes, maybe they have to fix their positioning as well. Yeah, all of that, those are parts of the aim, those are parts of just how do you make it easy for you to just land shots on the enemy. Okay. Our future people, I'm in the future, sure. Okay, so basic first strategy. That is always me saying that. That's quite important. I know I say it over and over again in all my sessions, but this one is quite important. First strategy is just going over your mentality, yeah? Making sure your mental is fixed, because if your mental is fixed, then you can get valuable results. Okay? This is the most important one, but also for most players, it's kind of the most boring one too. So, yeah. The first one, I usually suggest having fun. Well, the idea why having fun is important because now you not that anxious about your decisions. Yeah, you can easily try to move your crosshair from one place to another. You can hold your mouse in a proper way as well. This one is quite important. Balanced food, sleep, still connected to the mentality too. Yeah, whatever whatever you use as if your fuel, it influences your muscles. You can even look into sports in general. Yeah, football players, basketball players. Yeah, if some of those players they're gonna eat really bad food. Yeah, it's getting processed, right? And then you're getting some of the let's call it just you get a fuel. To just simplify, you get a fuel, and the quality of food it really influences the quality of your fuel, right? And if you put something what is really low quality, then guess what? Your body is gonna function in a better way. Maybe you're gonna be sleepy for quite long period of time. You can't be focused. Yeah, so this one is important. Yeah, this can increase your focus. Yeah, we can maybe write it down here. Can increase your focus. hmm And this way, you can just maybe play longer. Maybe it's not even necessarily that you play longer, but the quality of your play is higher. Yeah, because now my attention is in the right place and the right time. Yeah, so attention matters. Attention, let's just say, increased. Um, the quality of attention. Okay. The most underrated thing in esports, personally, nutrition. Yeah, for sure. Well, it's just with anybody, to be honest. Just in general, I think humans really underestimate this, but it's quite important. You can even notice if you eat bad quality food, you might even get that's what called I just forgot the English word for that, but the muscles of when you get tension in your muscles. Yeah, I do bodybuilding. I go in the gym, right? And if I do not get quality food, I notice how I can't lift properly. My muscles is just you get this certain tension, like it's really hard for you to lift something. Bodybuilding. Yeah. This is true. Okay, so all of this helps. By the way, something to write down, maybe, yeah, a mentality. That is a good idea. Maybe we can also write down balance food, sleep, exercise, right? I just write down exercise here. This one is quite important too. So see, this is how I'm gonna do those presentations. I'm just trying to present basic ideas, and then we with you here we're gonna form all of this. I'm gonna write down all these points, and it's gonna be even easier. Good chat. Getting flamed on Overwatch 2 Gefest. I probably could bench this guy. Oh, well, that does matter. It's it's definitely it's something you should do. Exercise, definitely you should be doing that. You can even see with new esports, they start doing more exercise. They doing making players involved into exercising, yeah, just warming up in a proper way, not just your aim, not just your maybe like gameplay, but it's just your body in general. If you exercise, your blood is just it goes through your body in a proper way, and now you can aim easier. Yeah, it goes like that. This is quite important. Okay, exercise, mindset specifics. Okay, so here I mentioned take breaks. Usually I suggest maybe after two, three losses, you can take a break. It's quite a good habit, allows you to recharge your mental. We lost two, three in a row instead of just keep queuing and having this mindset of, okay, these guys are bad anyway, or I'm performing good anyway. Why not to just refresh your mind, wait a little bit, just for a second, and it's gonna work quite good. I would say with this, maybe you don't want to do just a second break, 1 second break, of course, but you want to do something like 10, 15 minutes. I even think you can go outside, just do something in other workspace. It's quite important. Okay, so let's say 10, 15 minutes breaks. And then do something else. Maybe do something in other workspace. So you're not just sitting in front of your PC where you've been playing, but you go somewhere else, and this way you recharge your mind even more. To touch grass. Oh, that's true. You can put it this way. If it influences you in a good way, then why not? Practice mindfulness. Well, this one is just more about how you think about situations. Something I wrote down here, working with your thoughts. I will go over this model real quick, but this one is quite big. I don't want to go in too much in depth maybe now, because there's a lot of specifics, but first of all, first of all, something to keep in mind. Whenever you working with your thoughts, usually you facing something, you're facing certain fact, and then after that, you getting certain thought and you getting certain feeling about situation, and you perform actions. So what you want to be doing is recognize what kind of actions influences your results, so kind of do it backwards. Yeah, let's say I'm gonna give you an example. Fact, yeah, the fact is my teammate is throwing or my teammate is just doing something what tilts me. Okay, this is a fact. Maybe your teammate just not healing you, maybe your teammate just trying to um say mean words, for example. Yeah, it's pretty common. Okay, what matters is what kind of shots we get here. So for some players, it might be, oh, this guy is bad, or like this guy's trash, or something like that. Yeah, just those kind of thoughts. Okay, and then it impacts what you feel after. Usually, people feeling frustrated. Yeah, and then it influences your action. Usually, players tend to perform not as good. And in terms of your aim, you start being more jittery. It just starts being more tensed. Yeah, your aim is like all over the place. Yeah, if I look at this here, yeah, I'm really tense. Somebody told me something, and then I start aiming like this, go left and right, and it's really tense, and you can't land your shots properly because all your thoughts are really connected to the situation. It becomes really, really hard for you to aim shots. Yeah, but when you're more relaxed, okay, it becomes way easier. Yeah, it becomes way more. Yeah, it's not that complicated for you to aim anymore. Okay, so this is just going through this model. So what you're trying to do is just replace your thoughts with something more useful, what can influence your feeling, what do you get about the situation, and can influence your actions. Yeah, so instead of maybe me thinking, oh, this player, they tell me that I'm doing really bad, or they tell me, for example, if they tell you mean words, instead of thinking that this guy is really bad, like this game is lost, maybe I can think something different. For example, you choose to think, I'm focusing on my aim today, maybe I'm focusing on my improvement, just as a general statement, and that can impact your feeling. Yeah, maybe you're feeling more motivated because of it. This quite good feeling, and then actions, how you perform, how you're gonna aim, it's gonna be better. Okay, so this is about the mindset. Okay, dealing with anxiety is quite a big one as well. I actually have an article on that, so I just linked it here. How do you understand that you have an anxiety when gaming? What is useful to us in our situations is when you can't focus, when your muscles are tensed. Yes, this is what I mentioned here. For example, you might be tensing up under pressure when enemies are actively shooting you, or tensing up in general. Okay, this one is quite big. What most players struggle with is that when somebody is doing pressure on them, they tend to tense up, and then they can't aim properly. And it just basically looks like, okay, if I go out, leave the game, okay, let me see if there's a deathmatch. Okay, I'm gonna find FFA. It should be here. So there's an FFA. Okay, so what most players get, especially when they play competitive, is that when they under pressure, they're focused by multiple members. Now they become way more tense. Yeah, like the aim is you just aim all over the place. Okay, but why? It's mostly because you're not used to those situations under pressure. You're not used to people shooting you. So how to fix that problem is face those situations more where you're under pressure. We can try to do this routine here where you play try hard FFA as an example. Maybe you can also do deathmatch and face an enemy there, but because you do it more and more, you do it as your habit, it's inevitable that you're gonna get used to situations under pressure, and your aim is not gonna be as tensed anymore. So you start hitting more and more shots. Okay? So it's about this here. Okay. You can read this article, maybe. I can just link it in the chat. Give me 1 second. Okay. You can also read it later for anybody who is interested. There's a lot of useful info, I think. Maybe I'm gonna add some more later. But this one is important. Okay. Your goal settings. Yeah, this is pretty big, because if you have proper goals, you have something positive, what you can get out of situation. Maybe your positive goal can be, today I'm practicing my flicks to the left. Yeah, maybe you struggle your flicks to the left, or you struggle your flicks to the right. Okay, let's set this goal, write it down. Yeah, and write it down as well, and then apply it in your game. Yeah, practice later, making sure it's simple and concise too. So it's just you not overwhelming yourself. You kind of practice one goal at a time. One goal at a time. And this here becomes like a routine for you. If you do it every day, it's inevitable. You're gonna fix your aim problems. Anything related to that in general. Okay. I think for this page, that's it. Are there any ideas we can add? Maybe you guys, anyone who is on the stream now, you guys have any questions related to that? Feel free to ask those too. So dealing with anxiety, maybe important note can be just making sure you relaxed. Yeah, you play relaxed. Mm-hmm. I'm Brunch. Hi, Gefest. Hello. How are you doing? So went over this first strategy. It's something not related to the gameplay, but just kind of related to your mentality. It can influence your aim. I think it's the most useful first step you need to implement. Okay, now let's get to the gameplay. Let's get to the gameplay specifics. Only have 5 minutes, but wanted to catch the stream. Yeah, thank you. Appreciated that. So, second strategy is positioning. Okay, this one is quite important. The first idea is understanding how I position. Okay, let's just think here. For example, you can be minimizing your hitbox and using vertical and horizontal cover while doing that. Okay, so why it matters? How you position, yeah, how you just do something on the field. Hmm. It's because when we position a certain way, it makes it so much easier for you to aim in general. Yeah. So, for instance, maybe if I'm in this deathmatch here, okay, I can think about positioning. For example, if I notice somebody, let's say, here, okay, I position the way to minimize my hitbox, and then I see this guy, okay, he's also can see me, and because I apply cover, yeah, maybe I'm not exposed to any other damage. It's so much easier for me to aim, yeah. Now this guy, see how he knows where I am, and he also was not exposing his hitbox as much. See how he killed me there. Now he's just gonna wall climb and is gonna be able to kill me easily, yeah. So this is about how you position, and you can also think about how you force an enemy to position too. Mm-hmm. Let's just go over first idea first. Okay. So minimizing your hitbox is just doing all of these moves here. Okay. We can use this corner, for example, as our cover. Okay. And then we can maybe use this structure, horizontal structure, as our cover as well. And additionally, aim. Yeah, like just using those structures around the map. Because you can maybe also place crosshair on those structures. It makes it easy for you to aim, yeah, instead of having your crosshair all over the place, yeah. What if I choose corner to play out, and then I point my crosshair, yeah, like for example, I aim at this tracer, and then I point my crosshair just like that, yeah. Obviously, you want to do it constantly. You want to be consistent with hitting the shots, yeah, but this is something you can think about using horizontal and vertical structure. Yeah, I'm gonna leave the deathmatch, so I will not. Yeah, I will not stay there and be kicked. Okay. You need to give yourself more options to do things. Line of sight and rotations. Okay. This one is interesting, I think. Let me jump in the custom game. I'm gonna create a game. Give you an example of the map. Okay. Let's go on Route 66. Route 66. Yeah, I think this one is good. Let's do that first. Okay. So for example, on this map, it's pretty common to hold, if we're talking about the first point, or if we're talking about second point maybe, it's pretty common to hold those high grounds here. Okay. Why it's important to us aiming? Well, because if you position in a proper area, if you choose to position around this high ground now, you have more options on what to do against the enemy. So now I can point my crosshair towards this left wall. Maybe I can even just use this wall and potentially go up like this way. I think you can stay here. Yeah, you can stay here. And then now you have an option to aim this way. You have an option to aim this way. You have an option to aim just this main road as well. Yeah, more options for you what to do with the crosshair. It makes it easy. Now you have good line of sight, and you can also rotate. Okay, second idea about rotations, I can rotate towards here. I can maybe rotate towards this as well. I can rotate towards that space down there as an example. This is an example of second point, but same idea applies to the first point too. If we go in on the first point, you can see this gas station here. Again, this power position gives you an access to this main street here. This gives you an access to this doorway on the right, this doorway down there, and even this position to the left. So you can move your crosshair easily and make it so much easier for you to aim. But if I'm doing a mistake, if I'm not making it easy, how the problem looks like, if I just have limited options, and then I position down there, now I only have a choice to maybe, like, let's say it's very common for people in the low ranks to play here. Now I only have option to aim towards this street, yeah? And if somebody goes up, it's so much harder to aim up there. It's just, whenever you aim up, you complicate things. Most of the time. You don't need that, so you can use this position here, maybe even rotate towards this sign. This one's quite nice. Okay, second big idea, how I force an enemy to position. I can position in the way so enemies further away from the corner, you can deny enemy cover, but still have a corner myself. Vertical or horizontal. This one is interesting. Okay, so there are two ideas. Okay, let's just go over that step by step. I'm gonna leave this game and present you an example. Okay, let's create another one. Go on maps. Gibraltar, maybe? No, let's do Gibraltar. Okay. Let's go Ash, I think. Okay. So there are a lot of high grounds. It will be easier to show with the Ash. Let's enable sounds. Okay. Let's go. So first idea, yeah. Got a first problem. Let's put it this way. Is when you position. I can actually, okay, I can go there first, I think. So when you position, I can position in a way so you have a corner, okay? How can you have a corner? Well, you can use vertical structure there, maybe. You can use horizontal structure here, okay? The way I can use it is just by holding my crosshair this way, and now let's say the enemies are down there. Now, if I'm using both of those structures, making it easy for you to land your shot, yeah, you're just making it easier for you to move around the map. For example, the enemies come from this spawn. Okay, now I use this horizontal structure, this vertical structure, and this horizontal structure at the same time. I put my crosshair here, and I can shoot the enemy this way, yeah? And then, if the enemy is gonna shoot me, I can hide, yeah? This way you can instantly avoid getting pressured, you can Even avoid cooldowns sometimes. This is the one. This is the one idea. How you use corners. And second is making sure enemy is further away from the corner. Okay? This one is the most important step. So I'm not only doing this where I use cover, but I also keeping in mind where the enemy is on the field, how they're using cover. Okay, so for example, somebody comes from spawn there. Okay, what kind of cover they can use? They can use this box on the left. They might even use those boxes as well. Let's pretend the enemies, they try to use this box to the left. Okay, now if you use corners yourself and you're trying to deny enemy taking cover, then that means you want to place an enemy away from that cover as much as possible. Okay, let me just maybe draw that for you. Go on Epic Pen. So let's draw this person here. Okay, this is gonna be, we're gonna be using it as a reference. Yeah, see, like if this person using this left wall as a cover, yeah, if I'm positioned the way so this person is able to hide as soon as possible, this is not the most ideal. But what if I position, maybe using this horizontal structure as your corner, and position myself in the way so this person now is more exposed? They are away from that box, they're more further away from cover, it takes longer for them to reach that piece of cover. So you can just easily catch them. Yeah, now when they're doing all this rotation, they go into the left. It makes it so much easier for you to aim. It makes it so much easier for you to land shots. This is about the position. You need to give yourself more options to do things line of sight or notations. Okay, we went over that as well. Okay, second. B. Bait an enemy to walk into your kill box or walk past the corner, so that target will have harder time escaping. Let's see. This can be applied maybe if we choosing to play, well, let's say we're choosing to play on the high ground. We're choosing to play on this spot here. Well, you can start shooting actively only when enemies cross this corner, for example. And now, when they crossed this corner, so they're going from here to something like here, it takes more time for them to reach any corner. It takes more time for them to go behind that cover. So now, you can just destroy them. If something happens, you can just click on them, and it's gonna be so easy for you to get a kill on them, okay? Maybe let's just go over some game examples for you. Let's just show you something. Okay, I have a few Dafran videos, and I have a few Argus videos. Okay, let's just maybe use this as an example, okay? I think this is Dafran playing Soldier. Soldier only, probably on rank 2 GM, okay? Let's see how he is applying maybe this first idea of just how can you use the cover? How can you use the cover to make it easy for you to aim, yeah? For example, this. How you force an enemy position and kill zone at the same time. Okay, let's just play it. Okay, so I think here, even this first kill, it can show you quite important pattern. You see that Doomfist going in now? What you can do? You can use this corner by yourself. This way you minimize your hitbox, but you also want to make sure enemies are more exposed. Yeah, the enemies are more further away from cover. So what if the front chooses to play behind that pillar, or maybe in this circumstance, because Doomfist is quite isolated, he can even just go out a little bit more to the left and expose that Doomfist a little bit more. You see, now when we're going away from that cover a little bit more to the left, Of course, there's no corner yet. It's not needed. Yeah, of course, it's just all situational. Sometimes you can maybe play away from cover. Usually it's just in situations when you're confident you can get a kill. But anyway, because we are making it hard for the Doomfist to reach any cover, it makes it easy for you to aim. It makes just your crosshair placement on the Doomfist so much easier. And now I can consistently track the Doomfist, okay? I think now the next example is gonna be more interesting. You will see the fire in the air, okay? He can use some cover around the point. Maybe those gonna be pillars. Maybe this column here, okay? So this is his piece of cover. This is his structure he wants to use. And now he's putting an enemy in a way just so it's gonna be harder for that fire to reach cover. So see how he moves to the left, and he even just moves back a little bit away from corner. Yeah, why not to do that? He can still deny enemy doing damage. You don't have to be glued to corner exactly at the high level. You can just go a little bit up behind, and then this way expose this fire. Okay, she flies up, but still see the wave position. Ideally, this space here, you should have as much space as possible while having cover. So what cover he's using is this. That's why he kills fire. It's so much easier for him to keep track on that. Okay, that was just an idea about how you use cover. Second idea was you can force an enemy team in the kill zone and then fight them. Okay, what your kill zone is? Kill zone is the position where most of your team can be active, where most of your team can do damage. So see, when this fire enters this area, when this fire even enters this position around the pillar, going towards this building, most of his team can actually shoot the fire. And if he applies pressure on the fire, somebody most likely will follow up on that person. Yeah, see how far is further away from any piece of cover, where and her team can actively heal her, so he can just start applying pressure on her, and then she's gonna die most likely. Yeah. Okay. This was about this here. This idea. How can I position and bait an enemy to walk into your kill box? Okay, another one. Position an off angle so it's harder for target to dodge shots. Attention and movement. Okay. So first off, let's kind of go over the most common problem that people face. Okay, that is something I mentioned in my video. I think was related to aiming as well. Let me just find it. It's just pretty common that people tend to position on the main where it's too easy for people to dodge shots. Okay, let me just go in the practice training range. Okay. So for example here, I choose to play Cassidy, and if you choose to aim towards the enemy this way, where you aiming at them face to face, okay? I'm aiming at that surgeon, she's right in front of me. Now, what that surgeon is gonna do most likely, she's gonna strafe left and right, left and right. It makes it so much harder for you to aim. It makes it so much harder for you to just readjust your crosshair as well. But what if you choose into position in a way so it's a 90 angle, as an example? Yeah, this way now, if the surgeon is gonna strafe, then you can always hit her, because it's gonna be a straight line for you. Obviously, this here, it's not an exact straight line, because you a little bit higher up, but still, if she's strafing left and right now against this bot here, for example, it's so much easier, okay? I have this example here in my video, just how to apply it. Let me find it. Okay, let's increase the quality. So it's gonna be somewhere here. Okay. I'm still gonna use the Fran example. I think it was quite good representation. Okay. In this video, you will see I choose this example where the Fran goes a 90 angle, and now it's gonna be so much easier for him to aim. We go towards the left wall, kind of leaning towards the 90 angle, where those people on this A angle, they're gonna strafe against the enemy, against this core coming from main, most likely. So you can just go left and try to click the heads this way. See, okay, this is the best spot for you, kind of. This way here, you can just most likely land your shots, and you'll see the Fran start maybe using his right click, start maybe using his left click. It's gonna be so much easier. Okay, now this I just use that as an example of, well, that person was not positioned on 90 angle, the one I was doing coaching with. But yeah, just go back to the Fran's example one more time. Okay, so here they're gonna fight for the second part of the map. His team is coming from A angle, and he's gonna go on B angle. So again, you form that 90 angle, and here you're gonna most likely to catch somebody. You're gonna most likely to maybe right click somebody and try to get to get abilities first. Maybe you get a kill as well, and that's what exactly he's doing there. Yeah, eventually he moves through that building to the spot on the right, and there's a high chance he's gonna get a kill on the Junkrat. Which they did eventually. See, again, the third point, same example there. We're trying to move towards the left, and this way, so much easier for you to aim. Obviously, this is a lower rank, enemies moving in a straight line, kind of, but still, it's pretty good representation. Okay. So this idea you can apply anywhere. You can apply it in your games, just normal games, quick play, competitive, even deathmatch actually. Yeah, if you see players they distracted with something, yeah, they strafe against not you but the other enemy, you can just go towards the 90 and try to shoot them. Okay, let's take a look. Position and off angles. Okay, so I kind of just been talking about 90 angle. But there's also an idea about 180 angle. So what is that about? It's just when you use angles, it's about how you abuse enemy movement and how you abuse the fact where the attention is. Okay? So if I choosing the position to the left of that surgeon, if I'm here, then it takes less time for the surgeon to turn attention at me. It takes less time for her to turn the crosshair. Okay, but it's so much easier for me to aim as well, right? So with this 90 angle, you're kind of leaning towards, you just entirely, mostly you're abusing movement. Yeah, that the movement is bad. The enemy's movement is gonna be, well, it's gonna be good for you, but just for them, because they're gonna die from you. But when you go behind, if I'm on 180 angle, what happens is enemy attention, it takes more time for them to turn, but you're not abusing movement as much. And now they still strafe against you left and right. It still might be tough for you to actually hit them, but you're gonna have more time to land shots. You can take more time to readjust your crosshair if they're doing that. See here, again, on 180, we abuse the fact that the tension is really off. It takes more time for them to turn. 90, they abuse the fact that their movement is really bad, yeah? Let's maybe write it down. Abusing bad movement. 180 angle. Abusing attention. Okay, so it's just kind of to put a comment on that here. It takes more time for the enemy to turn. But 190 angle, when you're abusing bad movement, it just makes it so much easier. Yeah, let's just put it this way. They're moving in a straight line, so it becomes really easy for you to aim, yeah? They move in a straight line. Easy hit. Easy hit for you. Okay. Being unpredictable and unnoticeable. Okay. This one is quite big too. Usually when you're being unpredictable, when you're being unnoticeable, what is that about? You usually can let somebody from your team to distract. Because if you let them distract, then it's harder for enemy to react to you and strafe against you. Okay? So let's just find some of these examples maybe. Okay? Maybe even using the France as an example, you know? Why not? Okay, let's see here. Is he using somebody who is distracting? Okay, so here there's just initial pressure, just a poke phase. Okay, so he runs out. Okay, now most likely when the real fight is gonna happen, he's gonna use somebody as his distraction. Let's see, who is that gonna be? Most likely it should be his diva. So see, this is exactly what you want to do. The diva is actively pressuring. The diva is actively doing something, and then because maybe this Mercy is distracted, maybe this Genji is distracted as well. Now it makes it so much easier for you to aim. Okay, distractions. You can just start pointing the crosshair towards anybody and hopefully kill them. Now about being unnoticeable. Being unnoticeable, I can use this clip as an example. Okay, I just go back. This one was the Argus video, I think. And you'll see why it's so good. Yeah, why he's gonna get five kills, I think, is because enemy is not expecting him to be here. They're pointing the crosshairs somewhere else towards the main. First, why that is happening, because they're distracted with the tank, maybe the rest of the team. Second, this is just really uncommon place to be at. Something to think about. He's being unnoticeable the entire time before he applies pressure. Yeah, why not to do that and make it so much easier for you to aim? Yeah, you go up and then now you can take more time and do things. See, this is also 90 angle too. Just in case if the video is gonna strafe left and right, he can easily hit her anyway. But he's being unnoticeable, and once he's confident he can land the shot, he starts shooting. It's just normal shot. It's also his storm arrow, obviously, to just help him control this high ground there. And he's gonna get 5k actually because of it. Just need to clear those other two guys. Because they have an advantage, he can push, right? Okay. Change your angle if enemy knows that you're coming. This one is This one is also interesting. I think to give you an example, I think let's just choose any in-game example here. Let's say you're trying to fight somebody with a big burst. Good example is usually something like Widowmaker. Okay, I'm fighting this Widowmaker now because Widowmaker can easily headshot you. You don't want to pick from the same spot. You don't want to be the same position twice. So what I can do instead of using these stairs twice, yeah, let's say I pick the Widowmaker, I shoot her, now she knows that I'm here. Instead of doing that, I can move somewhere else and go here. Most likely the attention of the Widowmaker is gonna be on that place, so now I can just abuse that fact and potentially kill her. Yeah, I'm being unnoticeable, I'm changing my angle, And this way you make it so much easier for you to aim. You make it so much easier for you to do things, okay? A good example can be maybe using this. Yeah, this example where the Hans is gonna use a lot of verticality. Let's see. I think. Yeah, I think this one on Eichenwald, they're doing it quite a lot. Okay, see, Arge, I think he's playing against the Widow as well. Yeah, exactly. So he's playing against the Widow, and once the Widow knows where he is, he's changing his position slightly. Like, let's say he's doing this shot here. Once the Widow notices him, he should go somewhere else, ideally. And because he goes somewhere else, he buys more time for himself. He buys more time for him to just do things. This Widowmaker was actually planning to do that shot on the right high ground. Just take a look. I think she was maybe partially expecting Arge to be there, but he changed his angle eventually. Yeah? He's just not always sitting at the same spot all the time. Yeah, let's see. Is he gonna change the angle later? See how he's doing that right away. He notices Widow. Okay. That means there's a big burst. Then let's change an angle and make it easy for you to aim. Yeah, don't be stressed. Don't stay in the same position. Try to be fast with your aim. No, you don't have to do that. You can just go somewhere else and pick another angle. So right after he done the storm arrow, you should move somewhere else, just slightly. Change your angle at least slightly. Maybe try to wall climb, maybe try to go towards another position. Okay. So it's about this. When you shoot, you can predict where the enemy is gonna go. Okay. I will show you an example of this. Especially good if I show it on SIG. Usually you have 2 shots with a SIG, okay? So what most players don't get is that you have to move your crosshair slightly after you've done your first shot. And it goes for any character. You're forcing an enemy team to move somewhere. You're forcing them to play defensive when you start shooting them. Yeah, when especially the HP is dropping. So the Sigma, you notice, okay, the first shot is flying, and then the second shot is following up in the same spot, okay? But when you do the first shot already, it might force an enemy to move somewhere to the left or to the right, depending on the situation. Let's say enemies will try to use this cover here, okay? If you're trying to aim towards that Widowmaker, if my first shot just hit her, then she's gonna move behind that cover. She's leaning towards some sort of safety. And because you predict that, you again can make it so much easier for you to aim. Okay, my first shot goes there, but second shot can go slightly to the right. My second shot can go slightly towards that cover. Okay, this idea can be applied anywhere. Maybe especially like with the France example, yeah, just him being on soldier. Yeah, let's see. Right after he's done his visor, okay. For example, he might know that the Genji is gonna move towards the cover. Okay, let's see where the proper fight is gonna be. Oh well, maybe. Oh, let's just keep going. Okay, so see this. Okay, Anna is using piece of cover on the right. This is the structure she's trying to use, and if the France starts shooting her, most likely she will move behind there. So where do you put your crosshair second? Yeah, do you keep it on the same spot or do you move it towards the cover? Obviously, you should move it towards the cover and make it easy for you to aim. But it's not just purely mechanics and reaction time. It's more about anticipating that. Because you anticipate the enemy's position, where they're gonna go, then you can put your crosshair in the right place. So when we apply pressure, enemies start playing defensive. If playing defensive, they move into cover. And this one, it's opposite. If enemies are playing aggressive, they're moving away from cover. Okay? You've seen this part there with the Genji. Just a random example, but it shows. Genji is going on the front, and he's playing away from cover more. See, because he needs to close the gap. Obviously, he's not executing it properly, but he's away from cover more, and that means your crosshair are gonna be away from piece of cover too, most likely. But he's actually he goes from aggressive mode to defensive now, yeah, because he loses his health, he starts using this piece of structure, but it's always kind of flow of the fight, yeah, that's how it goes. First, somebody plays aggressive, they go away from cover, you move your crosshair away from cover as well. If they start playing defensive, you know they drop the HP, then you place your crosshair on towards the cover, yeah, so HP drops in this situation. Let's just say HP is critical. And if playing aggressive, HP is close to full. And have cooldowns as well, yeah, maybe something to keep in mind. Good idea can be as well. And with this, if they're playing defensive, they don't have cooldowns. Don't have cooldowns. Maybe they've wasted most of those, yeah? They wasted most of those. Okay. Any flaws in the gameplay so far? Oh, well, just not about flows, I think. I just going over the ideas and just showing you an example. The flows, we can go with that later, but I don't know. We don't have to. It's not the idea of the stream today. If you're talking about the aiming, the most part is good. Okay. Maybe we can go on the third strategy now, movement. Yeah, I think this should be pretty straightforward and clear. Maybe I can add a little bit more towards this, how you position. Maybe there can be more ideas, but for the most part, that's it. Okay, search strategy movement. Okay. Main goal, make sure we're moving the crosshair more than we're moving ours. Actually, let me do this real quick. I'm gonna link this YouTube video to here. So they're just gonna be examples. Examples. This one. Okay. Be unpredictable and unnoticeable. Okay. Example. Example is this. Our guest video where he was doing the 5k shot. It's just any reference, yeah. Maybe let's make it a little bit smaller. Okay. And for position and off angles, I have my own video. I can link it as well. It should be on my YouTube channel. Just this entire video is kind of more about those 180 angles too. Okay, this is an example. I think I'm gonna use that later. Maybe you guys can use that later as well, just to help you out with some of the strategies. Just go over those examples, watch those, might be quite helpful. How I position, okay, I just showed that in a custom game. Maybe you can use it as a reference later too. Okay, I think that's it. So strategy movement, yeah. Main goal, making sure we're moving the crosshair more than we're moving ours. That is kind of what we went over in those other sections too, about the positioning as well. Some of it is important there. But yeah, let's see. So the first idea is you can dodge. Dodging is all about when your movement is a priority. With dodging, you want to be unpredictable. You can look for long and short strafes. Okay. So example. I have some examples there already. Let's just change the color. So it's gonna look really, really cool. Let's just maybe change the color of the text. Unpredictability. Now let's see. This one. The one we watched. Let me just do this real quick. Okay. Now, because we're moving and using these roofs there, because Argy is being more unpredictable, it takes a lot of time for the enemy to move their crosshair. It takes a lot of time for them to actually kill him. Yeah, this Widowmaker, she's actually scoped in too. Imagine how much time it takes for her to move the crosshair. Right? I always do this in screams. People never expect it, lol. Yeah, it's just as a reference. It's not that you have to apply the same example over and over again. It's just idea of being unpredictable, okay? If it being unpredictable, the enemies have to move their crosshair more. Okay. I want you to find where movement is a priority, of where you guys can apply it, okay? So maybe you can choose this as an example. So dodging. Let's watch this one. There's no timestamp. Give me 1 second. So now it's timestamp. Let's watch it. Okay, it's not. It's not one more time. Now it should be. Okay. So there's an idea of when there's a big danger, you don't have to prioritize shooting. You can prioritize moving. Right? So let's see the situation here. There are a lot of enemies that go towards the front. They start actively shooting him. I think there's a Diva. There's somebody like a Genji as well. All of them, they start going, and he's using visor. He starts applying pressure. But the main priority is to try to dodge shots. Is to try to be as unpredictable as possible and not just shoot, but prioritize survivability. Okay, that's why he's gonna move left and right. See all this kind of, maybe for someone, weird looking strafes. Yeah, he's going left and right, but this is what you want to do more, not only in soldier but on any character. When there's a big pressure, you prioritize movement. You're trying to prioritize this, and you make it harder for the enemy to aim. Movement is a priority. Okay, depending on situation, we can look for longer, long, and short strafes. So how it can be looking like is, I think, especially applicable for DPS characters. Okay, I'm playing Cassidy.
Someone needs to fill this saddle.
Say I want to strafe against the Widowmaker. I can look for strafing left, right, left, right, left, right, but I don't want to spam it. I want to avoid strafing way too much, because you keep your hitbox in the same place. Okay, that's why it should be kind of short or long depending on situation. Now, short strafes is for situations when you're facing tiny bullets. So tiny bullets, an example, something like Hitscan usually, it's pretty tiny. Okay, if we facing against the Ash, if we're facing against the Cassidy, maybe you don't have to look for really long strafes. Yeah, maybe this kind of strafing is gonna be enough. It's gonna move your crosshair and your hitbox just enough. But if you're playing against bigger bullets, if you're playing against bigger shots, Let's say we play against something like Mei. Usually projectile tend to be quite big. Maybe you play against Junkrat. Genji is a good example because he actually is shooting 3 shurikens at you. So you have to move a little bit more. You have to kind of look for longer strafes. Okay, it's not always one-dimensional, like kind of just go left and right sort of thing, but still, you can keep that in mind. Yeah, I'm looking for longer strafes, so he's not gonna land 3 shurikens on me. People never expect it, even though it's been in the game. Yeah, it's quite a good strategy, I think. Why not? And you can apply the same idea at any map, any part of the map as well. Big strafe against big bullets and tiny strafes, kind of short strafes against tiny bullets. You still can do short strafes just against tiny bullets. You just don't want to spam like this. This is spam strafe. You never want to spam strafe because you keep your hitbox at in the same space. Okay, strafing. Well, dodging, we went over dodging. Movement is a priority. Strafing, hitting shots is a priority. See, the difference is I still shoot, but I don't want to do this weird stuff. So I don't want to move left and right like crazy, like on this example. Yeah, he's moving left and right because there's a lot of pressure. Yeah, now when you just strafing, and most of your gameplay is purely strafing, you can sit comfortably somewhere on the angle. Yeah, let's maybe find any random example. Now Fran is gonna come out of the spawn, maybe. He's most likely gonna strafe against somebody, against some of the enemies, yep. Okay. Let's move forward, and then maybe he's gonna choose to play here, this high gun. Okay, there's a Rissa right in front of him. Well, what he's gonna do, he's gonna strafe either left or right, okay? He wants to dodge the spear, he's moving right, but the movement is not the priority, it's the pressure. The pressure is the priority, but you still move. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. See, left, right, now. You trying to make sure, again, you're making sure that the enemies have to move their crosshair more compared to you. You don't want to move crosshair as much, and you want to force an enemy to move crosshair more. Can I do it both to try and keep myself unpredictable? Both what? Sorry, what are both exactly? Okay. And remember, you can always combine those strategies with what we mentioned before. If we combine it with positioning, remember our example with using 90 angle. So it's this here, okay? It's from my video on YouTube. If you're trying to move straight left and right, and you also taking 90 angles, for example, and make it so much easier for you to aim. It takes more time for them to turn their crosshair, where on your side, you just keep the crosshair right on them, yeah? See how it's so much easier for the front to kill the Junkrat, because the Junkrat is not even pointing the crosshair towards him. But you still can apply strafing here. You can move left and right just in case. Because this is the priority. The pressure is the priority. Okay. So we went over some examples there as well. Strafing, hitting shots is a priority, right? Some of the ideas you guys can implement. Anti-mirror strafing is if target goes left, you go right. And if target goes right, you go left. So for instance, if I'm playing against this Genji, Genji goes left, I can go right. If he's moving right, I can go left. And this is anti-mirror, and because you're doing that, you're still throwing off the crosshair of the enemy, but because you know where you're gonna move, maybe you can also do some predictions depending on situations where the enemy is gonna go as well. You make it easier for you to aim this way, yeah? We can anti-mirror or just mirror the movement depending on situation, so you don't have to move your crosshair as much. Yeah, let's say the Genji goes left, I go left. Genji goes right, I go right. Makes it much easier. What's up, coach? Hello, Jonah. How are you doing? Glad to see you here. Broken mirror. Yeah, so anti-mirror or just mirror. I think let's mention here can go more in depth. Yeah, because there's a lot to say about it as well. Okay, jumping. Jumping can also be predictable or unpredictable. Example of predictable jump, well, is just usually when we do jumping out in the open, when we go up from one place, yeah, and then you kind of fall down, because you form a curve, let's say, especially in situations, again, something like Ash, again, some sort of hit scan, like Widowmaker, because you jump out of the open, it becomes way too predictable, and it's much easier for them to hit the shot on you. So this is most of the time what most players do. They jump out of the open. This is too predictable because you cannot control your character. You can strafe, you can crouch, you can't... Yeah, I think that's it, pretty much. That's enough. Okay, but you can also do unpredictable jump. Example, jump after bullet release. Okay. Let me find it for you. So this one is fixed because I think I made an alt note, but it's just whenever yeah, it's just whenever with the Hanzo you climb somewhere, you can start with the charged arrow. Let me see if I have something for you. I think we're gonna need to add some notes there as well. What you can be doing with this is jump out of cover. Yeah, out of cover. And jump to cover. So for example, sometimes when the enemies they don't expect you, there are situations when you can use jump and be more unpredictable in that case. Yeah, let's say I'm being sneaky and all of that. I can just jump and then do something towards the enemy. Especially good when you're playing high burst characters. Let's say I play Reaper. Maybe you play tank, guys. Maybe you play Zenyatta. It's also applicable. Let's say you play Reinhardt, right? I still can apply it. If I'm being unnoticeable, most of the Reinhardts, they do this third view scouting. I'm being unnoticeable around this corner. Enemies coming out, but then I do jump and I'm trying to do the pin after that. Maybe pin the enemy towards the wall. This is unnoticeable, unpredictable jump. You can apply it. 2 DPS players, maybe. You guys can do something like... Again, especially if you play high burst character. Oh, my cross is Mimi. Still can apply it. Right? Let's imagine we have high burst. We can maybe do the jump if we need to. And expose the enemies a little bit more. Well, it's more useful in situations where the enemy is kind of high up compared to you. If you guys on hit scan, maybe you on Ash or something like that, okay? I'd say this is piece of cover. Okay, what I can do jump peeking. Okay, so see, instead of me just walking like this, I can jump and then peek the character, yeah? but it's unpredictable jump. Yeah, it's kind of the enemies, they can notice me, but I know where they are. I jump, click, click. Yeah, this is how you do it. Hey Gefest, I do have one clip I can share for this session where I get 3 headshots in a row by using predictive aim. If you would like, yeah, sure, go ahead. You can share it here. You can analyze it through the prism of all of it. Why not? Let's do that. Now let's make it smaller here. Okay, so you can jump out of cover, jump to cover. Okay, jump to cover is easier one. Is just whenever you're trying to prioritize safety. Okay, so let's say here, jump out of cover. You being priority. Let's say priority on pressure. No, priority on pressure. And when we jump into cover, priority on defense. Give me a bit to upload to YouTube. 1 second, yeah. Take your time. There is no pressure. Okay. When we jump into cover, same ideas apply. Let's say I know Widowmaker is there for whatever reason. If sometimes, like, there's a situation, yeah, let's say you somewhere in this doorway, for example. Okay. This one is gonna be interesting, yeah? You might use this doorway when you jump into cover to prevent the headshot, yeah? Let's say I jump like this, and there's a space, yeah? If I can go high a little bit. This can be your unpredictable jump to cover, yeah? You... Facing those, I think, usually when you're fighting somebody in the choke, you're fighting somebody in this doorway, like let's say, okay, like there's a Cassidy, he's coming out. Okay, I can do this. I can jump and completely block my hitbox. Only my body is gonna be exposed. Right, so it's this. And I can also aim at the character as well. Yeah, maybe I can do this prevent shot and then my head goes up. It's really unpredictable for the enemy this way. Okay, so we can go with the other idea. It's another strategy, just mouse control. There's nothing special, it's just how you gonna hold your mouse, how do you move it towards the left and right. You guys can be using your arm, you can be using your wrist. It just really depends on what you wanna do, depends on your preference. So the first idea is just how can I move mouse from point A to point B. Okay, whenever you're holding it, now because you have your mouse pad, let's say you have decent space to work with, you're moving and doing 360 degrees turn. Okay, usually I have to do 360s. That's enough. When you move mouse from point A to B 360, if you can do that, you don't need more. And just trying to adjust your sensitivity to when you move with your arm, usually trying to lower your sensitivity, and when you're moving with your wrist, just using your wrist, it's gonna be high sensitivity. Let's say you moved your mouse somewhere from point A to point B, and then you have time to just wait a little bit. Yeah, you have time to kind of reset. Maybe it's usually in situations when you're between fights. Maybe you're also you're also trying to reset right after you took a duel. Let's say with lone abilities. Maybe you used your dynamite. Maybe you used your shift as well. Then we're trying to reset a little bit around the corner, and you can reset your arm to default position. So here, why it might be why it might be concerning is because if you keep not resetting your mouse, then it might be stuck somewhere. Keep getting stuck. Maybe you're gonna hit your keyboard. Maybe you're gonna hit some other things in front of you. Okay. And now we can go towards the next step. It's just your trigger discipline. Whenever you're controlling your mouse, when you're moving from left and right, when you click, it matters the most, because if we keep clicking on somebody, especially if you're playing high burst character, you might miss a lot of shots. You really want to keep it simple and only click when you're confident that you can hit your shots. So what we're trying to do is, let's say somebody is strafing in front of me. Maybe it's this bot there, maybe it's Widowmaker right there. Doesn't matter, really. Instead of just constantly clicking, you're really taking your time and putting your cross in the right place. But usually trying to put it on the neck level, and then you can hit your shot. Yeah, so instead of it being like hitting all the time, maybe you can just do it this way. So it's one shot there, second shot follows. One shot on the neck, second shot follows. Or maybe just one is also enough. Instead of it being like left, right, left, right. Okay, so trigger discipline, went over that. Crosshair and head level in corners. Okay, so just mentioned about head level. Head level is pretty straightforward. Whenever we coming out, doesn't matter what space you at, it doesn't matter what you're trying to do in the fight. Just placing it on the middle of your screen, typically. Maybe a little bit lower, depending on your situation. So we just facing the neck level. We don't want to go with any higher or any lower, because you usually want to hit critical shots. Now, when you place the crosshair on the corner, what it does is, especially if you have better crosshair, just if I go on options, then go on video, you can always manage it. Ideally, your crosshair should be really not cluttered as much. Okay. So I'll go on controls, and then go on the crosshair, dot, go on advanced, and then you can choose your outline. Usually, you want to keep it simple. Maybe keep it as a dot. Try to choose green color so it just sticks out a little bit more. As an example. So this can be maybe your outline. You can maybe also change your dot size if you like. But yeah, it's just why is that is important? So it makes it easy for you to land your shots on the corners, okay? When I'm trying to shoot somebody, I don't have to keep my crosshair somewhere out in the open in a random way, okay? Now, what we can do with that is just, if I especially predict that the enemy is gonna be around the corner, I'm placing my crosshair right in that corner. And whenever we see the enemy, we can start clicking, yeah? Applying the same ideas about the trigger discipline. We keep shooting when something happens, yeah? When enemy is just gonna come out. But most players, they do it this way, yeah, where the crosshair is out in the open, and now it takes a lot of time for them to move. It takes a lot of time for them to just go around the corner. It doesn't matter what kind of corner you're using, yeah, maybe using this horizontal structure, okay? This can also work. I can just go other character to present it to you. Let's say we're playing Cassidy. And then we choose to use this high gun here, okay? You can place your crosshair right in this corner and move forward, peek out. Move forward, peek out. And your crosshair, because it's right in the corner, now it's too easy for you to hit the shot.
You'll need more grit than that.
Or it can be opposite way, yeah, where if you just keep your crosshair here, then it makes it way... It just takes too long for you to move the crosshair. Yeah, see, compare this to this, where I have the crosshair right on the wall. Right on the corner. Mm-hmm. Okay, so here examples just in the custom game. Hopefully, we can use the link to our video there. Mm-hmm. Okay, the last strategy is just your mechanics. Why so many watchers? I don't know. I'm glad to see everyone. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's take a look. I'm just gonna move this somewhere first. Okay, difficult Lari shot. Okay. You're gonna break it through the lines of all of this. Sure.
Right, alright.
Okay, I'm just gonna remove the sound for now. Oh, you're talking about this one, aren't you? So the first shot on the corner. Mm-hmm. Difficult Lari shot. Okay. So what is important? What we applying here is, first of all, you on the high ground. Most likely, if you change the angle, especially if it becomes for Lara really unpredictable, because you change the angle, but if she not noticing you, makes it easy for you to aim, right? Yeah, it makes it easy for you to aim, and now we can hit it. Another idea is we apply 90 angle. We on this top left wall, we on the tower. So you kind of, if just in case the Lara is gonna strafe left and right, you can hit her, no matter what. Mm-hmm. Let's see your crosshair placement. Ideally, okay, I'm gonna nitpick on that a little bit, but still, something you can apply, yeah? Ideally, we're trying to go behind the cover and then peek out and make sure our head hitbox is as less exposed as possible. So see, you're trying to remove this space between the Lari and this cover while the Lari is exposed. Okay, now a Lari is pretty exposed because it takes a lot of time for her to move to any piece of cover. If she's here, she can move towards this cover there, or this cover there. Mm-hmm. But we can also remove this entire space. You can remove this entire space, and just in case somebody's gonna pressure you, can always hide. Just some words talking stuff about the concepts talked about. Yeah, sure. Yeah, why not? I'm down to that. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that was a shot on Lari. Now, see how it's difficult to hit the Genji? Why? Because first of all, he's aware of you, because he got the Lari most likely. Second, this is not 90 angle. It's gonna be pretty tough. Of course, you can try to hit him, but it's gonna be lower priority compared to something like Kiriko, maybe, where she is trying to stray just left and right this way. She's also seems like she's not that... Well, she doesn't know that you up in this high ground. Seems like. Mm-hmm. Can also reveal the enemy with the Sonic. This is good. Right. What else is there with the first shot? So cover, 90 angle. Let's look at my list. I lost my presentation. You know that? Where's my presentation? Oh, it's right there. Okay. Movement, well, you're moving left and right. You actually don't have to move because nobody's strafing too. So you're really... See, it's always a scale. Movement versus pressure, yeah? If nobody's shooting me, I don't have to move as much. If somebody's shooting, then, well, let me move a little bit. If they hard shooting, hard pressure me, I can dodge, move left and right. Where go? Yeah, you don't have to go anywhere, exactly. You can just stay. You can just stay, don't have to do much. Yeah, went over how you position, how you force an enemy to position as well. Mentality, we can go over that. Mouse control, we can say for sure what is that for you. Yeah, how do you move your mouse from point A to B? Are you resetting your arm as well? Okay. Trigger discipline, so this. Get the shot when your crosshair is on the target. I kind of struggle with it on Hanzo. Crosshair on head level and corners. Okay. The last strategy, mechanics. Well, first off, warm up. Warm up is usually something you want to do every time before your game session. And that is something I mentioned here, I think. Or maybe not. Well, we can mention one more time. Doesn't matter as much. 10, 15 minutes, or maybe up to 20 minutes before your game session. Okay. If we implement that habit, it's gonna be inevitable. Your aim is gonna improve. What you can do. I usually recommend doing, initially, doing this game mode. It's called Waxta. So you go on import code and you just type in Waxta. Like I find it, just hold down the charge button, like I sort of flick a little on Hanzo, and I just don't release sometimes. I stock same trainer. I think it's good. Why not? Yeah, I think it's similar to Waxta. I think he did some adjustments there, so why not? You can still use that.
2, 1, fight.
So this is pretty basic. You're not under any pressure. You're just against characters who are moving left and right consistently. And in this mode, you're trying to hit your shots. Okay? Ideally, you shouldn't be on borders, windows as well. You just should be on the full screen. Okay? And here it's a good practice, I think, for the most part. Movement is pretty random. You can also adjust the movement, just turn it up a little if you like. Maybe put it on hard, maybe put it on normal, maybe put it on easy. Yeah, really, all up to you. Okay. So 10-20 minutes before your game session, doing Waxta. Or you can do try hard FFA. Okay, so this can be kind of the next step. Maybe let's just do this. Try hard FFA. It can be your next step because you playing versus people who are actively pressuring you. So you go on all games, you type in FFA and you find try hard FFA there.
Arriving at Chateauneuf.
Yeah, exactly. Aim trainer. I think iStack's aim trainer is quite good. You can use that.
Someone needs to fill this saddle.
So see, here I'm practicing against real players who are actively aiming at me, okay? When they actively pressure me, it forces muscle tension. It might force the, I don't know, like me in unpredictable spots sometimes as well. But you're not only shooting against the enemies under pressure, you're also using cover while doing all of that. Yeah, you're also applying the game sense and awareness in general. For example, if I know I expect an enemy to use certain ability, or I expect an enemy to move behind the cover and all of that, that is really good practice. Doing all sorts of things like flicks, target switching, tracking. Yeah, sure. Can also do that if you like. But yeah, this one I usually recommend for most of the players. I personally done it quite a lot too. Just whenever I want to warm up real quick, I do 15 minutes of this, maybe even 20, and then my aim becomes pretty decent. Yeah, like in any sport, you go in a gym, you go maybe train in basketball, football. You need to do some stretching. You need to really make sure your muscles are warmed up. Same idea behind this here too. Okay, see how can I can hit the shot on the tracer. Yeah, I'm not warmed up. My muscles are and like the wrist and everything. It's really cold. You really have to invest some time, and then it's gonna be much easier for you. See, why it was easy for me to aim at Genji at the start as well, because I was unnoticeable for him. He was not strafing against me, so I can just easily kill him. Yep, maybe I can do at least decent damage. My muscles set the big for tiny viper. Well, you can get a bigger one.
They still haven't seen my aim.
Bigger mouse. Right.
Thing you ain't alone out here.
Okay. This is about the warm-up. 10-20 minutes before your game sessions. Start being slow and good first. Okay, so what is that about is we, maybe as an analogy, we're saying we don't want to be like Necros, okay? Because Necros is something what people use as an analogy to really fast player, yeah, really good mechanical player, but you don't want to be mechanically good and really fast. You want to build up the speed later. So what we're trying to achieve is make sure your shot is right on the target, your shot is right on the right place. Let's say I'm going aim 20, okay, maybe I'm just playing versus stationary targets, maybe I'm just doing Vaxta or tryhard FFA. So what I'm trying to achieve with that, I'm just making sure my crosshair is on the target, and then I start hitting. Okay? My crosshair is right on something, and then I hit. My crosshair is right on the target, and then I hit. Yep. Just like that. So what you're trying to do is, first of all, be just slow and good. Being slow and good is much better than being fast and bad. Trying to be slow and good, click when it matters. Slow and good, click when it matters. You can take your time and readjust the crosshair. Let's say I'm not confident in aiming for whatever reason. Okay, now I'm not confident, let me stop, wait a little. Maybe you don't have to wait 1 hour or something, but just wait extra second, wait extra 2 seconds. Yeah, I'm aiming, okay, wait, aiming again, wait, and repeat the cycle. When you practice in your aim part, just repeat that constantly. Same goes for your charge shot, especially. Yeah, if I'm playing Surgeon, I really want to make sure my cross is in the right place. Okay, but the more you do it, the faster you're gonna do those micro readjustments. The faster you're gonna move your crosshair left and right. The faster, the easier it's gonna be for you. Okay. So I start being someone good first. Don't want to be like Necros at the start. Yeah, you can maybe build up the speed eventually. Okay, second idea. Go in a game because you want to train your aim by covering multiple in-game scenarios, like look at positioning, game sense first, and then train your aim in those scenarios. It's true. Most of the people that have this kind of problem where they just stuck on aim trainers. They just stuck in something like aim labs or Kovacs for multiple hours. But because you're not going over game scenarios. You're not playing competitive. You're not actively thinking, wait a minute, where the enemies might be, yeah, where they might come from. Then your aim is not going any better. And we know, and I know those examples personally. I know a lot of players where they really invest a lot of time in aim trainers. They invest multiple hours in those, but aim in a real game, it's not becoming any better. Find sensitivity based on your strengths. Okay, so strengths is just understanding of what do you prefer, like your play style as a player, maybe. Okay, this is a little bit too general, but I think it's just the speed you like to play, the pace. Me, as an example, I like to be really fast and flick a lot. That's why I use my wrist, and that's why my sensitivity is pretty high. So if I play something like maybe Cassidy, you see, I comfortably can move left and right, do 360 turn with just one wrist swing. So I'm not moving my arm for the most part. Sometimes I do, but most of my aim just consists of wrist aiming, purely moving left and right, doing 360 if I like. It's ideal to have 27 centimeter. 27 is usually enough in my experience. In terms of DPI, and then game sensitivity is a general rule of thumb, I think. Well, it's kind of this DPI and sensitivity is all about, can you do 360 comfortably, first of all? You can also measure your sensitivity. You can do an easy task. Point your crosshair towards something, towards the wall, towards some sort of structure, and then aim. Okay, so we're pointing here, and then we aim. Pointing towards this, and then we do the aim here. So it's kind of what you do with this is, if you tend to overflick, I'll point somewhere here, okay? Me, I'm not overflicking. I'm comfortable hitting most of my shots. Then it's fine. I keep my sensitivity the same way. But if I overflick, for whatever reason, yeah, I'm trying to pretend I overflick. Then I need to lower my sensitivity usually. If I not meeting the target, yeah, you've just under aim, let's call it that, then usually wanna have higher sensitivity. Okay, that's an easy way. That's an easy fix. Okay. Okay. Easy fix. Easy fix. Point. Crosshair. Crosshair to the wall. Aim to the target. Multiple times. And you're just trying to figure this out. You know, what I can do. Should you lower sensitivity? Should you not? Lower. Or make it higher. Now, hard fix. This one is doing PSA method. It's going over PSA calculator, for example. If I click on this, you can find this article. So this is calculator, and what it does for you, okay? What you need to do is enter your starting sensitivity. You enter something like, let's say 5, okay? My starting sensitivity. Now, they suggest your lower sensitivity and higher sensitivity. Okay, what are you doing with that? You go in a game and just try to experiment. You can choose lower sensitivity first. For example, I choose 1050 at the start, and then later you can choose higher, 750. And then type in, or like write down somewhere, what sensitivity feels more comfortable for you. What kind of sensitivity allows you to perform better, okay? This is the first step, and then you're gonna be entering the value. You're just gonna say, okay, lower sensitivity, maybe it felt better. So you start lower, entering it, and then you choose your sensitivity one more time. Okay, go over lower and higher, and then find the comfortable one, yeah? And then repeat that cycle. I think you have to repeat it 5 or 6 times. Even 7. And then you find your perfect sensitivity based on that. Hard fix takes maybe around 15 minutes for you, but it's quite a good one for most of the players. I like this one, very cool. Yeah. I think this method can work quite well. Aim is a skill you can learn over time, yeah. This point is true. This point is true as well. We going over in game scenarios, we going over your position in game sense. So just put it. The repetition is important here. We put the same point here. Look at position in game sense first, and then train your aim in those scenarios. Really, it takes time. Keep that in mind. Okay. Some other points. I just wrote down something. It's pretty basic, but the first point is quite big because your decisions and timing it matters. So real quick, decisions is just understanding of your of being aware of something. For example, yeah, like awareness is a big one. If I expect certain enemy to come out of spawn, or I expect certain enemy around the corner, I can make it easy for me to aim. I can make it easy for me to hit the shot. Yeah, let's say this is the front clip here. Okay, when he's fighting somebody, it doesn't matter where. Maybe he's trying to fight at this second point. Okay, see the first shot. He's just seeing the junker there. Now he's gonna peek around the corner and then shoot again one more time. Why it makes it so much easier for him to aim? Because he knows that the enemy is there. So our main point was decisions, awareness. Yeah, being aware where the enemy is. It's a very simple example there, but it can show quite a lot. Or this one here. Okay, awareness. Maybe it can be about where expect an enemy to position most of the time. This Circuit Royale map, you usually expect people to position around this high ground here. That's why your crosshair placement is gonna be right on this people. Yeah, you usually expect somebody around here, or you might expect somebody around this structure as well. And that's why you point your crosshair right there, right way. I like this one. And they even might say sometimes, yeah, how can you do that? Yeah, how do you point the crosshair to the right place, right? Okay. Raise your chair, lower your table. My clip's better. Yeah, I'm just using examples. I think your clip was good too. Was quite nice. Raise your chair, lower your table. Okay, what is that about? Is that you're trying to form 30-degree angle when you're watching your monitor. Why you do that is that because you want to feel comfortable. Also, somebody is calling me. I'm sorry. Gonna decline the call. Okay, so you're trying to move your chair up. Your table is lower. 30-degree angle here. And this way your neck is not feeling tense. This way your back as well is not as tense too. Okay? Hello, Smitanka. Hello. How are you doing today? Live stable. Okay. So we're just forming 30-degree angle. Gaming chairs, I have a note about that. Usually don't need wings. So most of the gaming chairs, they have wings to the left and to the right of you. Okay? So instead of having those wings where you feel kind of stuck and your neck is also sometimes, it goes down a lot. Okay? We don't want that with you. We just want more space for your back. We want more space for your shoulders. And because you have more space for your shoulders now, you can move your arm in more comfortable way. I can move left and right comfortably. I remember I even had a student who had that problem. They had really uncomfortable chair, and the way they place their chair and table is just it's so hard for them to aim this way. Yeah, like I want to move my arm comfortably. I want to be able to have more space to work with, and usually don't need any wings. Normal office chair is usually the best, I think, but obviously it depends. Maybe let's just say it depends on quality of gaming chair. I'm trying to relax after work. Good to hear. Gaming chairs suck. Right. Yeah, I would agree. I agree. Most of the chairs, gaming chairs and gaming tables, gaming something, it's really just money, like battle pass. No, not good analogy. But just money grabber kind of. The only real. Get off his chairs instead, the only real. Yay, I have one. It's just right behind me as well. So this is just office chair. And you can have the space where you put your arms. So your space here, you put your arm. So it's just not being in the air all the time. Yeah. For some people it's uncomfortable. If your arms being in the air all the time, now you get muscle tension. So you still want something where your arm can just sit comfortably, yeah, but you don't want some wings which are gonna remove your space. Yeah, they're gonna remove your capability to move the arm to the left and right properly. Okay, eye level on top, third of the monitor. It's similar to this here, so 30 degree, you need to combine it. That's why I'm gonna just say you need 30-degree angle there. Your eye level on top of the sort of a monitor, what it does, you just trying to. Okay, so let's just go in a custom game. Yeah, let's use this as our example. Can I use Epic Pen there? Oh yeah, I just need I need Wardo's window here. Okay, so we have this here, uh, this guy there, for example, and imagine this is your monitor. Okay, so it's going like this. Okay, your third, your space here. This is your eye level, ideally. This is where your eyes want to be most of the time. This way, you don't get your neck is not gonna be as tense. Your back is also not as tense too, and you keep it straight in front of you, and you don't have to move your eyes a lot. Okay, I had one player where they had this problem where the monitor is also way too large. Okay, so there's another idea. You want to maybe have something between 24 27-inch monitor. Okay, let's say 24 27-inch monitor. Because if your monitor is way too big, now you have to move your eyes a lot. You have to move your eyes left and right a lot. And that's you off the gameplay a lot for that player, actually. They even, maybe sometimes they had to move their neck, yeah, like move left and right. If you ever notice you do that, something is wrong with your monitor or how you sit, how you position just in front of your table, or how you're using your gaming chair. Yeah, Gertz, 24 Gertz monitor, yes. I'm talking about your size, the size of the monitor. I'm talking the size, so it's just what they usually say is just like this diagonal. This is 24 to 27 inch. 24, 244 hertz is just for fresh rate, so your eyes are they're feeling fine. Actually, a good point too. So why it's important? So 24, 27 inch monitor. You do not want to move your head left and right. Okay. 44 hertz and higher usually is good enough. So your eyes are relaxed. Your eyes are gonna be just fine and gonna say thank you in the future. Yeah, so I'm just gonna. Your eyes are relaxed. I think this is gonna be enough. My advice: clean the mouse pad. Sometimes it helps me a lot. Yeah, if you're moving, if you're moving this some mouse from point A to point B, sure. Clear from dust. Yeah, maybe it's a good point. Yeah, clear mouse pad from dust. No, I think it's a good point. It's just once a month at least. I think once a month. I'm just keep pressing the wrong buttons, but it's fine. Okay. So this became a little bit bigger. So points about monitor. Monitor. Mm-hmm. This affects your aim too, guys. Don't you know? Yeah, wash it with soap. And you good. Maybe some other special things. Okay, sensitivity. I think I mentioned it already. Can turn it up sense if under aim, can turn down sense if over aim. Again, same idea about this calculator. PSA calculator. Use that. It's good. It's good stuff. Really, just go over those steps here, and you can find your perfect sensitivity if you like. You don't want to copy pros, so maybe a good note can be do not copy pro players. Use your own sensitivity. Use your own sensitivity. Try to figure this out. Sensitivity is just a tool. It's just a tool. I'm not kidding, by the way. I'm gonna do it tonight. Yeah, yeah. You, you see, you good student. If everybody would clear their mousepad, they would be like Necros probably, or maybe Capster, and playing in Overwatch League. How do you clean mousepad? You just throw it in the water. Well, just basic clear. Even just basic soap is good enough. You don't want something fancy, to be honest. Of course, you can find something in the market, but really just read through. I personally, I don't use anything fancy. In it, in real life tutorial, please in the video, sure. That's why I'm doing this. That's why we're writing down all this here, so I can make a video and articles for you. Not API. Okay, PSA calculator. It's a good one. Okay. I think we gonna finish really soon. Was a pleasure. It was a pleasure be sitting here and share all this information here. We done an amazing job, went over 5 big strategies. We probably can also talk about this a little bit more. I think maybe let's market a different color. Yeah, decisions is quite big one, and timing as well. But hopefully this here has been enough. The first strategy, your mentality. The second one is how you positioning of you and the enemy. The third one is your movement. Fourth strategy is your mouse control. And fifth strategy is your mechanics. So I hope that lesson was useful to you guys. If you find it useful as well, and maybe you have any questions, feel free to join the Discord. Feel free to ask me questions. Maybe if you wanna go in depths over those kind of concepts, how can you apply to your gameplay? I also do some coaching on Metafy. So yeah, I hope that that's been useful. Glad I was able to help my yeah, with clips. Yeah, thank you. So I will try to do those kind of streams weekly. I'm enjoying doing that, and that helps me to also form something what I can use in the long term. That is something what can be shared in articles. That is something what can be used in videos. So reading on stream is just gonna be done live, probably every Thursday. It's gonna be me going over the most common problem, and we're just gonna write down a bunch of stuff using this presentation, using those Google Slides. Maybe I'm gonna use any other tool. What about aim strategy for Winston? All of it is here. Watch the full lesson. Watch the full recording, and you will find it. And Mercy too. That's applicable for any character. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tracking for Winston for sure. Okay, but in all seriousness, it's actually can even with those characters you have to. Your crosshair placement matters. Of course, it's funny. Yeah, I'm tracking with Winston. Like, how do I aim with Winston? But the higher up you are, the more it matters where do you place a crosshair. So, because maybe you place it on the corners, you start doing pressure a little bit earlier compared to other members. Yeah, compared to somebody else. Mm-hmm. As an example. Okay, so I'm glad to be helpful doing all these lessons. I will see you guys later. I have another lesson really soon. It's gonna be a coaching lesson, which I'm gonna do really soon. We'll try to stream every week, and I'll try to do more engaging streams, kind of not just the presentation, but maybe doing something like on Rank 2 GM. Maybe doing some more water reviews. We'll see. Okay, bye bye everyone. I was glad to see you here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Bye bye.